part 2 of the previous show. Before we get back straight into it, remember the Mounting Yard Mail tournament offer with Glenn. Buy any of the Mounting Yard Mails across the board at 12follow.com.au, and you can join Glenn in the tournament and take him on at Rosehill tomorrow. But what you can also do at One to Follow, and what you should be doing and getting used to it and getting it into your game if you're betting from home, is Pro Better Live, Matt, because the stuff you get from that, the bets from the ring, the
saved me a lot of money last week.
What was that with?
Holler.
Yeah, we just came back and said no more. Obviously, you get all this from the Mounting Yard Mail as well too, but there are specific times that we will mention horses that are obviously key runners. Holler being that first up, which we came back and said leave us out.
Yeah, that was suggested.
It was $1.50 at the time.
Yeah, I think we suggested sort of taking.
Wasn't much soon after that.
No, it was pretty obvious what was going on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So look, it's not even the horses to back; it's horses not to back or to trade out of.
And just getting a real good feel for who's backing what through the day. And by doing it, you'll probably find a few patterns of how the big punters actually bet as well too. Like, the only one we sort of don't really nail all that well is when Rob Waterhouse has had a bet, because Mark's a little bit slippery than the rest of them. He just sort of sneaks up behind it and then has a bet, and you go, what's happened there?
Trenchcoat Mark.
But yeah, exactly. But everyone else we seem to be able to nail.
Well, that's off the table for a few weeks.
Yeah, that's right, because Mr. Waterhouse is away. Anyway, but if you want to have a real good idea about what's going through the day, real good feel for what these betting drifts are, we mentioned Beauty's Beast was one. Now, that was an obvious one. Like the couple from Rosehill the week before, which was Ecuador and who was the other old mate, the Misfon. They were just betting around them, but you knew Beauty's Beast, you're just watching, and that was off. Yeah. And so trying to bring the differences of those betting changes to it, and you can get that with Pro Better Live at the moment. Is it not? It's still $59. We haven't changed the price. $69. $69. You get the 2 sets. You get the staking plans. You get all the information throughout the day, and you get the updated staking plans throughout the day. It's just well worth a look. You're only locked into it for as long as you want to be locked into it. So go to One to Follow. Go to Pro Better Live. Jump on. Go to probetterlive.com.au.
Probetter.com.au.
Probetter.com.au. It's also on one. Yeah. So have a look at it. It really is something that if you're sitting at home, it is a must for as much information as you possibly can get. Celebrations handicap over 1100 metres sees Nuclear Class $8, $3.60 Brook Road, and Wonderbolt $4.40.
Yes, the change of stable on Wonderbolt has seen, there was some 460 given, and that's now trimmed up to 380.
I think intelligence there.
I think the tap at $11 Wonderbolt early at some stage.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Can we just talk about why it's changed stable?
I think it was sold.
Right, and why was it sold?
It was sold.
Is it a...
I think it wasn't a blue and white horse? Wasn't it a Singer or a Harvey horse or something like that?
No, it was a weird one.
Yeah.
Had blue and stuff.
Anyway, it's been sold.
Been sold, okay. Well, good on them. I'm with them.
Yeah. Goodbye. All right, who leads, Mark? It's very obvious. Turbo Nuclear Class instead of Noche sorted out.
Yeah, well, Turbo's a sitter. So Nuclear Class leading Senator Noche, Foxbat third, and who's made a return to Sydney and its environs. Turbo 1 out, 1 back. This race is a touch hollow.
It is.
Because we've got horses that, like Brook Road may not be with us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you first look at the prices, and I think $2.80 was the first price I saw Brook Road, you think, Jesus Christ. But then you look at it and think, okay, probably not.
Well, it's B-Shin and
Blake arrives.
Yeah, Blake's only got 3 rides.
What happens here?
What's a cameo for the day, is it? and what T. Clark? T. Clark is another cameo.
Yeah. Maybe they could have had rides in. Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. Keep going.
Yes. Yeah. So B-Shin just turns up out of nowhere to ride this horse that may or may not be doing nothing. It's a curious one. She's obviously been back at the trials and had excuses for her most recent run, but clutching at straws. I was keen to go to number 2 Nuclear Class here, who I know where she'll be. And I'm suspicious about there being no chasers. 2 to beat 9 Wonderbolt. You know what he's going to do. He's going to go back, and he needs to.
Rosehill Rail through 1100 metres looks lovely for him with this sort of size.
Yes and no. That's the old 1100 where you're thinking 1100 See, I always was of the opinion, oh, well, 1100 units, just go Blouses race,
Yeah.
Blouses race, Blouses race. There's something about Rosehill 1100 that
Well, no, I'll tell you what it is.
I've
It's
got-
because they anchor drop and then the field follows.
Yeah.
So Gunn just needs to know when they anchor drop to go, and I'm
And
sure
I
he's going
looked
to
at
know. And this horse has got an 800 metre sprint.
I looked at the ratings to win figures this morning. First and second around the bend are going at about 20% profit on turnover,
Okay.
which is for this
1100
business is
Yeah,
huge.
that's what I'm alluding to.
Yeah,
I
huge.
see an 1100 metre race and I want to find a Blouser, but
Yep.
I'm looking at this race going, hang on, the Blouser may be problematic here. Anyway, 2 to beat 9, 3 Brook Road, 7 and Sternest for what it's worth. And 2.5 units on number 2, 1.5 units on number 9.
There you go.
Yeah, similar theory. I'll be having 2 units on Nuclear Class and 2 on my old mate Centre de Notch, who is going to be leading. And yeah, looks, I do think he's had some excuses. So he'll get a much easier race. He'll get a configuration where he has a chance to battle on, and he'll test out the theory on 1100 metres tonight.
Obviously, from my point of view, Manning Yard is absolutely critical in this race with Nuclear Class first up, Brook Road first up, Wonderbolt practically first up, Christy Lee first up. Yeah, Manning Yard Mail. Your only hope. How can you breathe without it in race 5? Going on to race 6, and we will talk about Ecuador at $3.40 over 2,000 metres, Trade Commissioner $6.50 and Darcy Magic $8. Mark, Ecuador leads. Does he have any mates?
Phrases.
Yeah, no, he's... Yeah.
Lucky Liaison will be handy.
Yep.
And that's sort of it.
So Danny Beasley controls the race.
He does. Talk to me about Trade Commissioner, who
Good run. Consistently runs good numbers. Consistently runs what we call 4 to 5 lengths above, which is good numbers for these staying races.
What about its prices in Melbourne? I mean, I've gone out of my way to find
Yeah.
it here because it's got a quick backup and but
Yep.
I mean, like it's not running in the betting.
It's
Like,
always there. It's because it's
okay, so it's won one race in Australia, which was the Wagga Cup
Wagga
last
Cup,
year.
yeah, and very well set for it, yeah. And it's a little runty thing, I think, from what I've been able to see of it. I think it just starts those prices because it normally runs 4th or 5th in decent races. Does that make sense?
I'm looking at $15 last week.
Yeah.
950.
Yeah, it's normally because it's normally there or thereabouts. It's normally about an 8 or 9 to 1 chance because it's normally running 4th, 5th, or 6th. So it's, yeah.
It just
but those
seems
races,
really well founded.
yeah, those races it's running have normally been high rating races, and it normally runs a 4. You can put it in the book as a 4 to 5 length above horse,
All right, okay.
which is a good mark.
Okay. Well, the rails runners did very well in this race a fortnight back, partly because the rails was better. I mean, it was better than it will be tomorrow, but also because it's a distance race, and that will apply here again. So I said 1 Ecuador from 6 Trade Commissioner, 7 Darcy Magic, who was not allowed to be put into the race
Yes,
last
didn't
time.
participate, isn't he? Yeah,
Surely he won't ride it that quietly this
you'd
time.
hope not. No.
And 3 Beyond Thankful, I mentioned Glenn at Hawkesbury.
Yeah.
This was it. It was just it was a gala. He was at the tail of the field and he just decided to move out 4 wide at the 800.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't it? Makes sense.
I won't go anywhere. I'll just go and sit 4 wide at the back of the
Yeah,
field.
of course you would.
Yeah. So look, he and Darcy Magic actually have a bit of a history. 1673, 3.5 units number 1, 1.5 units number 6. Don't think I want to say anything else.
Ecuador was a good horse, I think, and he's up and running and he's got the improvement, and Danny Beasley will do the same thing again and he'll win the same. You see these horses get on these bit of a runs when they're just a little bit better than him. The 60.5 kilos won't worry the Gay Waterhouse camp as much as anybody else.
No, he won't.
Come back at the right time of year.
Right time of year, and again, the same comment, drier the track, the better it is for him, and blah de blah 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 blah, Ecuador wins.
Yeah, I'm having 5 units Ecuador. I think the extra 200 actually looks ideal
fine,
and a drier track.
Yep.
Yeah, and look, there's a few old mates sort of here that just look a little bit outclassed, and yeah, look, if he can run it at 2 or 3 lengths above average, that's good enough to get the rest out of the comfort zone, and he's just better than him.
Beautiful. Moving along to the next one to follow. One to follow, special
A
offer.
lot happening there.
Yeah,
A lot happening at One to Follow.
One to follow, exactly. But this is actually being met to the $10 services, isn't it? The basic services, where they are only just numbers and whatever, but they have been going very well. And you can get a special track work double with There They Are,
Yes.
which There They Are sort of only was okay last
are.
week. There they are. There it is.
Yeah, we had a huge week the week before. Last week, wasn't as good, but we're doubling up with the track work tips.
Yeah, that's right. So you can
$10,
get you can get the track work tips, which have been performing outstandingly for the. So God, it's almost 12 months since they've been going, isn't it? Shit, time goes. But they've been performing outstandingly for their existence, and there they are, is on a bit of a roll. So jump on board with that for $10 for the both of them. You'll get probably close enough to 20 tips for maybe not quite that, but it'll be about 16, 17 tips around Australia, and. They were a winning set. So for $10, mad not to. One2follow.com.au. Find them there. Aussies Love Sport is $7. Grand Punto $9.50, $8.50 Moral Victory, $3.90 Gods in Him, and $8 Bascule.
Yes, look, a little bit of money around 15 to 13 Rock Along, 9.50 to 8 Moral Victory, and Bascule has been nibbled, I think 8.50 into about 8. So
Beautiful. Mark, who does what?
Complex race, isn't it?
yes, there's two ways you could go, or maybe others.
So at the 13.50,
Was it?
Should have just hit the next play out, Matt? Or?
I want to job the sky.
Moral Victory, does he have it on his own, Mark?
I had Aussies Love Sport going forward in this race.
Yep.
And it's in Senora next best, which doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be there. Grand Punto won't be too far away along the inside. Gods in Him may be asked to be closer tomorrow. Luna Rise could occupy a handy position in behind the speed. So there's a few variables that go into the map in this race. So I wasn't necessarily clear about likely positioning, but I was happy to say that number 3 Rock Along was the run of the. I thought it was the run of the meeting 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I had an insight into this horse because someone found it that we know, and I had to back it.
Oh, Glenn didn't actually parade all that well either.
It was the way that I looked at the races on the day, this horse did something that we weren't able to do. So I thought he was one of the runs of the meeting. He's third up, he's had his taste of Rose Hill, he's now third up from a very long spell, and he's on top with me from one Aussies Love Sport, who down the line is drawn to do better than his company. Moral Victory and Grand Punto he's obviously got a couple of lines with. Gods in Him did the job in a very, very mediocre race, first up at Randwick, but what can you say about him? He's got gun, he's lightly raced, he's drawn correctly. And 13 Bascule, who didn't feature.
Well, Market said it was right. It was tuned right up, but behaviour said, "I am not with you."
Trialled since, and clearly there will be forgiving punters tomorrow.
Well, there was just something wrong with the horse, and I'd be very interested to see how it parades there, because that was another one I was very keen on. The money had come from. I was looked at it. Oh, you've trained up. Oh, hang on.
Yes, hang on. So maybe not hang on tomorrow.
Yep.
319.13. 2 units on number 1, 1.5 units on number 3, and 2 units on number 9.
Aussies Love Sport. Again, that comment, the drier the track, the better it is. It wants dry track 1,400 metres. It's got probably a dead 4 for most of the dead 5 for most of the track, and 1,350 metres. So we're getting closer. Had the perfect run of perfect runs last start, but it went well first up on a heavy track, on an affected track, where it shouldn't have. Hawkesbury the races were called off, so that's just not impossible.
Jimmy did one of his "I'm not here" rides.
So that just doesn't exist, and then still was able to win on that. I think the horse is flying. I reckon the horse is in for a career best preparation.
Is Rubble helping out Jay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rubble will be. Yeah.
Right, okay.
would be
that's-
the
Yeah,
so.
controversy there, isn't there? I didn't get fully into it, but
I suppose they just didn't grant Robble boxes at Randwick because Randwick's too prestigious or some shit.
yeah, but why the trainer change?
No,
Yeah,
because Robble was training at
They're
Randwick.
Segino horses.
Segino.
So they wouldn't just leave it, right?
No, because they were under Van Dyke's name, and like let's just all pretend that wasn't happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's been a fallout with Van Dyke.
I don't know if there was a fire. I don't know if it ever was. I just think it was Robble was always doing it, and it was under their name.
Yeah, and so when clearly there must have been a decision about the boxes. No, Pete, you're not getting the boxes.
Yeah.
So therefore, what are we going to do about these
Yeah,
horses?
that's right. Exactly. So they go to John Sargent.
Sarge.
Yeah, exactly. Which they're in good hands. Anyway, Aussies love sport, and I think Gods in Him did something pretty good first up, and is the horse to beat. And maybe, as we mentioned it coming into the preparation, the fact that it had a normal spell may suggest that obviously the issues that it's had, it might be in for its best preparation too, because obviously it has had
He's
plenty of problems.
Headline, God's own.
And yes, God's own, yes, that's right. And also take note that the Team Hawks is finding those little miracle 2 or 3 lengths that went missing for a while.
Really?
A lot of
Well,
horses
that's
are
good
coming
news
back.
for the first race today tomorrow.
So yeah, well that's exactly right.
Okay.
But yeah, so the 3 lengths that went missing for 12 months are finding their way back.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, look, as I said at the start, I sort of had it. I thought I had a race in 2. I'll need to have another look at that little comment you made about Rockalong, Mark. That does interest me. But just 3 units, Aussie Love Sport. The track is going to be much firmer than it was last time. I think he's going great. And Guys in Him, as you said, Dallas. He's pretty much his whole career. He's sort of chased pretty well. Like he's a little bit better than you think.
With problems, yeah.
And I think a drier track will suit him. Not too many of the guide zones handle the wet. So
He's a big thing. His wet track numbers were pretty good last start though, so maybe not. But I would have thought
Yeah.
on type, definitely.
just look, I have a little 3 units on each of those, and just trying to eke out a small profit.
Beautiful, and I've got to watch on Basculate too from the Manning Yard too. Keep an eye on that, because if it parades well, you can forgive its first up run. Just before the last, just should mention too, we mentioned Pro Better Live. If you wanted Darren's obviously Melbourne set, it's available as well too. So if you just wanted to use Darren's set for Melbourne, $55 online now with the interim, and the final coming online with most of the time.
Yeah, it's coming out a bit later this week, so if you get it when this video goes up, you'll be getting the first look at it.
Probably, yeah, exactly right. I would imagine it's almost in our inboxes now.
Exactly.
I would have thought. The final event is awful. $10 breakfast in bed, $8 Two Blue, $10 Holly Delusion, $3.80 Erebra, $10 Amazon, $5.50 50 Shades of Grey.
He's been flying the flag for the fillies and mares.
Yeah,
So as long as
Hey,
the,
there's been a few issues with mares in his own life, and he's
right, okay,
just hates
okay, right. Yeah. Ongoing.
all over
Right?
Colts and Geldings, man.
You just got to go straight down.
You had all the good advice once upon a time. You don't seem to have heeded any of your good advice.
What does this thing about do as I do, not as I say? Does that apply? Yeah. Anyway.
yes.
Hello, world.
There was some $6 given Aerobar. 360 I think was the best I saw. At a big price. Pickabee was also, maybe they put 51 instead of 15. They might have got the numbers back to front.
Dyslexic,
One of our
dyslexic.
favourite
Yeah.
bookmakers. And $9 into 8 to Blue. So yeah, some specking there. There's a bit of action.
Mark, anything?
Yeah, plenty, Dale, plenty. I mean, I ended up spending a long time on this race, but obviously Two Blue will drive through underneath them. She's second up off a longish spell. Erebar wants to be in the van, pretty slowly run the other day. Floral Gold, back from 1400, could be urgent. Caprossa, also from the deep. Mystery Flight hunting up underneath them. It promises to be at least honestly run. Breakfast in Bed I had getting the best run. And Gold Opponent's got that Fluker's looking run this time in, or 12 months in, so she, not quite 12 months, remember she won the last,
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
wasn't the second last race at Randwick, Kensington actually, sorry. Yes, Holy Delusion's going back, 50 Shades of Grey back, Cat's Eye Surprise back, Elegant Doubt back, and Amazon, well, she may be persuaded into a just a stern and midfield position. One Breakfast in Bed.
Yep.
To beat 6 Erebar. 10 50 Shades of Grey. Bauer backs up from Monday, where she met misfortune, but she was also well ridden. It was sort of he went back. Did the private secretary ride, right?
Yeah.
Where this was the thing to do. This was the only way you were going to get anywhere. Met a little bit of interference at the same time. And 13 Floral Gold, who was racing as well as she possibly can, and we're better off back from 1400 metres. So I took the Sword to 2 Blue because of the gate 1 and second up off a long spell. Holy Delusions I was interested in because I've adopted her, but I was upset with how she disappeared at the 200 metre mark the other day.
Yeah, and Glenny Boy too doesn't exactly make you want.
Well, I think he knows how to ride the horse, but anyway. Amazon is
Amazon's about the only horse in the race I reckon I could entertain.
Well, she won 3 races in a row. It's one of those classic
you don't
mares.
like that, do you? Yeah.
But I mean, I found her here.
She's about the only one with the right yard, the right sort of feel, all that sort of stuff. She's about the only horse I could like in the race.
And it's been priced short enough too.
Yeah. But $10 available Amazon, yeah. I mean, look, it might be 100 to 1 chance when you see a parade, but
they could also comfort it.
Yeah, that's right.
Be
Yeah.
like, well,
Yeah.
2 units number 1, 1.5 units number 6, 1 unit number 10. That's
it.
the end of the meeting for me.
That's it. Yeah, as I said, Amazon is about the only horse I could entertain in the last. But
yeah, look, as I've kept up my form and sort of ran out of time to have a good look at the last race.
Don't worry, you haven't missed much.
So stay tuned to the other boys.
All right, lovely. Thank you, boys. All right, back with the Punter Show on Monday, won't we? I think we're back
Yeah,
to
we're off.
normal schedule.
Yes.
Beautiful, lovely.
Glenn champing at the bit to tell you what's going on in his world.
Which I'm sure there's plenty. Good luck, everyone. Thank you.